Yeah. What's everybody fighting for? Why can't people help people? That's the question.
Oh my God, it's people helping people!
Tonight's episode of People Helping People Live is sponsored by Mike Silkowski. He's your local partner in getting your message in front of the right people. Mike specializes in helping businesses right here in Southern Arizona reach their ideal customers through TV and streaming services. He's not just sponsoring this chapter 3 of People Helping People, he's building partnerships, and he doesn't succeed unless you do. If you're ready to grow your business with someone who's invested in your success, call Mike at 515-305-5311. Again, that's 515-305-5311. This episode of People Helping People Live is sponsored by T-Town Boxing, Tucson's home for boxing, kickboxing, and recovery classes for all ages. From kids to adults, beginners to experienced fighters, T-Town Boxing offers a space to grow, train, and challenge yourself. So if you're ready to push your limits and join an amazing community, reach out to T-Town Boxing on Instagram at instagram.com/T-Town or their website, boxingtucson.com. Again, that's instagram.com/T-Town or their website, boxingtucson.com. This episode is sponsored by the Diabetes Network of Arizona, a community built by people living with type 1 diabetes for people living with type 1 diabetes. They host Arizona's only family camp for type 1 diabetics, giving kids and family a place to connect, learn, and feel understood. Every dollar raised stays right here in Arizona, helping local families get the care and supplies that they need. No one should ever face diabetes alone, and with your help, they don't have to. You can make a difference today by clicking the donation link in the description. The Diabetes Network of Arizona, building a stronger, healthier Arizona together. Let's get back into the episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another amazing episode of People Helping People. Yeah, feels good. Impromptu episode is happening right now. If you guys watched yesterday's episode, I shot the whole thing with the mic muted. So I hope that you guys can hear me okay. I double checked all my settings, made sure that we had some audio, and I'm going to double check it right now and make sure. Hold on. Okay. I think we're in the green. So yeah, I'm really excited about today's episode. If it's your first time joining us, welcome to People Helping People. This is a live show, so you have the opportunity to be involved in the show. Leave your questions, comments, feedback in the comment box below, and we will shout you out and answer your questions, talk about your feedback during the show. So that's kind of what makes People Helping People unique. And if you are coming back and joining us, welcome back. We appreciate everybody that's been involved and been a part of the community. So this one's for you. Yeehaw. This is going to be an exciting episode. Kayla and I, on Tuesday, we had the opportunity to finally go donate some of our time by volunteering. And it was an incredible experience. Huge shout out to the Tucson Family Food Project for allowing us to come in and volunteer. And not only do that, but bring in our video equipment, our microphones, and film so that we can showcase to you guys, to the community, to our people, what it looks like not only to volunteer, but to get involved in your community and hopefully give you guys outlets. So if you guys want to get involved with the Tucson Family Food Project or any of these nonprofits that we're going to go to and volunteer at, we want to give you an insider's look of what that looks like, what their mission is about. So if it calls to you, you can do so. Yeah. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and just dive into the video. We have Kayla right here, actually. She was, there she is. Let's give her one of these. Hold on. Whimsical, mystical, magical Kayla Coffee Studios. But yeah, she was with me, and I'm so grateful that she was there because we had fun. We had a great time volunteering at the Tucson Family Food Project, a great time sitting down and interviewing not only the volunteers, but the owner of this nonprofit. And Kayla was there, she didn't have to be there, but she showed up, and it was great. She videotaped the whole thing, and she helped out and volunteered, and we just had a really good time. So this episode, we're going to be showcasing us going out to the Tucson Family Food Project, volunteering, and giving you guys some outlets to get involved in the community. So here's the video. Let's take it away. Yeah.
What are we doing today?
Oh, hey, baby. I'm so excited because we've been reaching out to all these nonprofits. We're trying to have somebody allow us to come and volunteer.
Nice.
And so we finally landed one, and I know I discussed this on a previous podcast, but the Tucson Family Food Project. And so we are on our way to volunteer right now and show you guys what it looks like to be a first day volunteer. See if it's something that calls to you, and hopefully if it is something that calls to you, then you can go get involved. And so, yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, I'm excited. Let's go.
Let's go. Hey, is the Tucson Family Food Project? Hey, yeah, perfect. Pleasure to meet you. We just showed up at 2700 East Speedway Boulevard to volunteer for the Tucson Family Food Project. So I'm really excited to talk to Steven, the owner here, and show you guys what it looks like. So there we go.
And thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Cool. So what do we got going on today?
So today is our first day of portioning for the recipe.
Okay.
So this week we are doing a pancake recipe with a blueberry compote. So this is one of those recipes where we're trying to just give them as much stuff as we can, and flour is a really good ingredient you can stretch out.
Yeah.
And pancakes are something that's fun for kids to eat, but we incorporate the blueberry compote, so they're getting like a nutritional value to
Nice.
it. So they'll get 2 cups of blueberries. They'll use some lemon juice, some vanilla, make it down into a little reduction, and that'll be kind of like their syrup. In addition to, they get some real Vermont maple syrup with this too.
Nice.
So today's day one of prepping all of this. So
Beautiful.
We have like our master recipe list up here.
Yeah.
All of the volunteers use that as their guiding light. So it shows, what's there, what's the portion, what's the container.
Okay.
And now my volunteers are like a well-oiled machine. So they show
know
up
exactly
and,
what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
They jump right in.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if somebody is coming here, and we can dive into like an actual interview portion of this, but like somebody's coming here for the first time, obviously we got our name tags, which is nice. Kayla's got hers on as well. So if somebody's coming in to volunteer for the first time, what does that process look like? How are they getting involved? Break that down for me.
Totally. So the easiest way is to go through our website. There's a section called Ways to Support.
Okay.
And then the volunteer section is in there. If you fill out the volunteer application, our coordinator will get with you. But it's a little different because we do Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Mm-hmm. So it's right during the workday. So I appreciate not a lot of people can help.
Yep.
So that's what our volunteer coordinator kind of talks people through. Like, here's what it looks like, and here's all the opportunities that are not during the week that we have for like tabling, community outreach, and things like that.
Nice.
Because a lot of people want to help, but I get this is like right in the middle of the workday, you know.
Yeah.
But now we're filling out as an organization, so we're starting to have events on the weekends, you know.
Love it.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Yes, beautiful. Well, yeah, put us to work.
Okay, cool.
Let's do it.
I'll tell you what. Real quick, I'll give you a little tour of the space and show you like stuff we use, and then also restrooms if you need them.
Okay.
And then we'll get you hand washed, get some gloves on you, and then we'll get you going.
Let's rock.
Cool.
Shout out.
Yeah, big
That's
time.
huge.
Dude, we would not be anywhere if it wasn't for.
I want to pause this real quick because we kind of missed the beginning of what we had said there. So the Catalina United Methodist Church, they donated their space to the Tucson Family Food Project to allow them to put all of their food there, to prep the food and work out of that church. So he was just saying he's so grateful for them, the Catalina United Methodist Church. So I put it on screen there, but I also wanted to mention that.
So they let us use the room we were just in, the adjoining kitchen, and then in this room, they let us keep all of our coolers plugged in. So this is where we keep like non-perishables, spices, packaging, and our coolers. So this is right now the limiting factor of what we can keep cold as to how many meal kits we can produce.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So as you guys start to expand or looking to expand, because right now you're doing how many meals a week?
260.
Okay. Yeah. And you're looking to get to 1,000.
Yeah,
right?
big time.
Yeah.
Totally.
So you guys need some space for keeping things cold.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
okay.
so we just submitted our plans to the city for the build out of our kitchen.
Wow.
So we're doing a big electrical upgrade to this building that we're in. But with that, we're going to have a 12-foot by 20-foot walk-in cooler.
Wow.
So 1,000 is just scratching the surface.
Game changer.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big
Love
time.
it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So this is this room. This is Heather, my executive assistant. If you guys haven't had
Hi,
a chance
Heather.
to meet her yet.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's incredible, dude.
Yeah.
She just got bumped up to full time.
Oh, beautiful. Congrats. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love to see you guys expanding and what you're doing. And, you know, I've been talking about you guys on the podcast
Thank
and
you, dude.
anywhere that I can because I just believe in your guys' mission. And so, yeah, we're
Thank you
excited
so
to
much.
be here, man.
Yeah, man. Heck yeah. And so just so you know, and I love sharing good news, we just got a $50,000 grant. Yeah,
Come on.
big time.
Come on.
Yeah.
I wish I had my clap track right here.
I know, right?
Yeah. That's amazing, brother.
So you can wash your hands there, and then we have gloves and all this stuff down here.
Okay.
And then, yeah, you can meet me down here, and I'll show you what's up.
Got you. Quick little scrub.
We got them aproned up.
Ready.
Fill this up with the oil.
Yep.
You'll probably have to refill it. We don't want to like make it like completely full, and because like we'll kind of track like how much we're using. But so every one of these is going to get 3 tablespoons.
Okay.
So what I do is like I'll lay out like say 50 of them, and then I'll just go like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I'll just go through like a group of however many you think you're comfortable with.
Okay.
And then they get lids, and then once they get lids on them, we can even have somebody come over and help you put them in bags and stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
Because it seems like inconsequential, but like opening 260 Ziploc bags takes a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
So even just like one person just dedicated to opening and closing bags like
Yeah.
helps a ton.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Streamline it.
Exactly.
I got you. Cool.
But yeah, so long
So we'll
story
start counting
short,
these out, right?
yeah, exactly.
Now, should we do like 50 at a time and then?
So usually what we do is we'll count the 260 and put them like aside and then just pull from them.
I see. So
Yeah.
we know that there's 260 total, and then just grab them, lay them out, do 3 in each, and
Exactly.
then. Okay.
Exactly. And then I'll bring you one of these black crates, and then we can just stack it all in the black crates.
Okay.
And yeah, that's it. So long
Cool.
story short, we should have 260 of these that each have 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil.
Awesome. This is God's nectar.
This was showcasing all the other volunteers getting everything together, all the portions, 260 meals per week going to eat. It was really special to be part of it.
Just finishing up the portion inside of things. Yeah, everybody here is working super hard. As you can see, you have the eggs portioned out, and the milk portioned out, and the olive oil portioned out, and these kids take their stuff home and their families. It's cool. It's nice to know that like each of these is going to a household. I think that's a really cool perspective that always works for such a good cause. So, trucking that along.
All right. Well, my microphone wasn't on right there, so I'll kind of make sense of what I was saying. I was just saying that, it feels really nice to know that each one of those individual portions are going to a family's household. These kids are going to be cooking for their families with each of those. And it was cool. I was just stating that it was, impactful to be able to see that each individual portion is going to be feeding a family. So really cool.
Let's go ahead and break down the Tucson Family Food Project. Let's kind of go back to the beginning, the inception. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I came up with the idea for working with kids in food in 2019. I just sent myself a little text message, actually in my notes app, and it just said kids school lunch program. And I had just kind of had this idea floating around in the back of my head, but I never really sat down with it and developed it. And, I worked at a big grocery retailer for 15 years before I started this. That taught me all the business side of this stuff. Nice. And so working in grocery during COVID as an essential worker, it was a crazy time, it felt weird. And at that point, I had accumulated a ton of paid time off. So I actually took a full month off, like when COVID happened, like when it was like the legit quarantine where it was like, you're not supposed to leave your house and like all that
Total
stuff.
shutdown.
Yeah, total shutdown.
Yeah.
During that month, I kind of started thinking about like what I was doing with my life, where I was at in my career. And I was very good at my job. And I came to the realization that all I was doing was utilizing my skills to make Jeff Bezos more money.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it. It killed me. And so I started thinking like, I went back to that little message I wrote, the little note, and I was like, kids school lunch program. And I was like, let's start looking at this. And I always wondered why you never saw somebody take the energy that they have when they start their own small business and like they're hyping it on social media and doing all of these like little hustles, but you never saw that for a nonprofit, and people start nonprofits all the time, but you never see that kind of that energy that goes towards it. And I was like, to me, it just seemed like a natural fit that the community wants these positive things. And so I took time and I worked on my business plan for about 6 months. And I talked to friends of mine who are teachers. And they were the ones who not only explained to me what this looks like in real life when kids aren't getting enough to eat in school, and the stories they told me were heartbreaking, but their message to me was that you cannot just hand out food. As important as it is, and as much as they need it right now in this moment, that when you just hand out food, as soon as they're done eating that thing you've given them is gone. And so you have to give them something that goes beyond that. And I have nieces and nephews that are constantly on YouTube. And I just kind of made the natural connection, like, why can't we use YouTube to teach kids how to cook?
Yeah.
And so it was just a matter of using the skills that I had built to figure out logistically how we would make this work. And then when I was ready, I spent about 6 months on my business plan, talked to other executive directors around town. Like they kind of helped guide me because I'm still new to the nonprofit world.
Right.
And they helped me a ton. And then when I was ready, I sold my house and I quit my job, and I knew I wouldn't be able to work a full-time job and do this because I would need to dedicate everything to this.
Yeah.
I haven't looked back since.
Unwavering optimism.
Totally.
And you totally put it all on the line for something that you believed in. So let's talk about what Tucson Family Food Project does exactly.
Mm-hmm. So every week we make meal kits for kids. So they're very similar to like HelloFresh or Blue Apron, where it's like a pre-portioned recipe. It's a new recipe every week. My volunteers do all the chopping. We do all the portioning, so the kids don't use knives or anything like that. So every Friday they get this meal kit that feeds at least 4 people. Right now our costs to make that are about $4 per meal kit. So $1 per serving.
Yeah.
So every Friday they get this meal kit that feeds at least 4 people, different recipe every week. We drop this off to them at school, so that way when they get out of school on Friday, they take this meal kit home, and every recipe has an accompanying YouTube video that walks them through step by step how to cook. So we make an extra one of these every week that goes on camera. And so that way, exactly what they get is exactly what they're looking at on the screen. And we just go through step by step and show them how to cook things for themselves. And I'll say, man, when I first started this, my 2 biggest fears where number one, like, are the kids going to be into this?
Yeah.
Like, is it something that they'll think is cool?
Yeah.
And are they going to be capable of this?
Sure.
You know, like, because I learned really quickly, you can't expect them to know something if no one's shown them.
Yeah.
Even things that we consider common sense. If no one's ever shown you, how would you know?
Yeah.
So I found out really quickly the kids are super into it. They love it.
Nice.
Not only is it fun, but it gives them a sense of autonomy, you know, for maybe even if it's an hour a week, they get to make decisions. And so we found out they're super into it, and we found out they're hyper capable of these things that we're asking them to do.
Nice.
Yeah. So like we even do a pepperoni pizza recipe where they make their own dough from scratch. They proof it.
We gotta get that recipe.
Yeah, it's good. It's legit. And
Nice.
so, and like, for example, like we try to teach them a core skill every recipe. And in that recipe, it's how do you make pizza dough?
Yeah.
And we teach them patience. They proof it. You know, they do all these things.
Nice.
Yeah. So we really, from the ground up, we're trying to teach them legit skills that they can use to feed themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anybody find the YouTube?
Yeah, so the YouTube, so right now, all the videos are made for kids, so you have to look for us to find us on YouTube because it really suppresses us down in the algorithm because it's made for kids. So anybody can look and find the videos, but there's no like commenting enabled, things like that, because it's for kids.
I got you.
But that being said, in January, we are launching a second YouTube channel that will also have the recipes, but it's going to be a much more robust channel focused on helping the household.
Cool.
So we're going to have like interviews with people who are experts in financial literacy and, you know, taxes and what is it?
Real life
Real
stuff.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things that we kind of assume that we all know, but no one really knows, you know, like how do you make a doctor's appointment and what's a premium and what's a deductible and, you know, these things that we take for granted, but somebody needs to show people how this stuff works.
Yeah, great question, by the way, Kayla. And you saying those things resonates so much because I realized that you learn those things through hard knocks, right?
Totally.
I feel like you had to go through these things and it is never a very easy way to learn those lessons.
Big time.
So I always thought that same thing, like, why aren't we teaching kids about credit scores, right? Like, why aren't we learning how to open a bank account and an LLC and then learning that there's specific structures for those things that need to go into place to get funding? And it's like, gosh, the school of hard knocks has been a long one for me, you know?
for sure. Big time. It's like, it'd be just so much easier if someone showed me.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
So to have that in place is incredible. So what schools or what school is this your meals going to right now currently?
So right now we're in 5 schools, and then we make an additional 20 meal kits a week for another local nonprofit called Youth on Their Own.
Nice.
That helps unhoused teens get their GEDs and high school diplomas. So it's super important work they're doing. So we're in 5 schools currently in Safford K through 8 and Borton Elementary and TUSD, which is Tucson Unified School District, our largest school district. We're also in Laguna Elementary. We feed their 6th grade class. They're in the Flowing Wells School District. And then we're in 2 charter schools, AmeriSchools Academy and Imago Dei. But we have a plan. We have 39 age-appropriate schools identified that we want to grow into that will be in the TUSD, Sunnyside, Amphitheater, and Flowing Wells School District.
Wow.
And so that's what I call phase 1.
Yeah.
So once phase 1 is completed, we will be producing 15,000 of these a week. And that is taking care of those 39 age-appropriate schools, and then we branch out to the other school districts in the area.
I need my clap tracks, man. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so the age ranges are,
We work with 6th, 7th, and 8th graders specifically.
which is such a great age to be learning these skills.
Big time.
Because they can really soak it in, and they're, I'm sure, teaching their families too.
100%. Yeah. They're at this age. And I will say, I get up in front and talk in front of big groups and stuff. Talking in front of those kids is always the most nerve wracking because like middle school kids, they'll tell you what's up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No filters.
Yeah. But to that point, like really, I learned very quickly, like these kids are super into this, and also they reflect what you give them. So like when I was young, it was always like, this person's older than you, so you have to respect them and you respect your elders, which I get and I appreciate, but I'm a big believer that respect is earned regardless of age. So that's kind of my main mission, is to show them I respect them. And so like on my channel, I joke that I walk this line between like 50% Julia Child and 50% Mr. Rogers.
Okay, nice.
Because
I
it's
like that.
all love to the kids.
Yeah.
And originally I was like, they're going to think this is corny and, they're going to think I'm lame.
Yeah.
And dude, they love it because they don't get that anywhere else.
That's great,
Yeah.
man.
So,
Gosh. So what is, besides the 15,000 meals, where are we at now and what's in the future?
yeah. So right now we're making 260 of these meal kits a week.
And that's what we just did today.
Yep, that's
we
what
just
we did
prepped
today.
the 260.
Yeah,
Which was,
exactly.
I just have to, give you your flowers for the experience. Just coming in super accommodating. We got our name tags. Everybody here, just hearing the conversations, like you got a little family here.
Totally.
And it's really great.
Big time.
So yeah, what's in the future?
Yeah, so we recently signed a lease with Tucson Unified School District, our largest school district. Yeah, it's exciting. So we're leasing out 2 buildings from them in a school that was formerly closed, and I'll explain about that. But so one building is about 3,500 square feet that we've already turned into our admin building. So that's our offices. We work out of there. My office is an old kindergarten classroom. That's where we film the YouTube videos. And the kids call me Mr. Steve. So that's what I started to call myself. I'm leaning into it.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other building is another 3,500 square foot building that we are retrofitting to become our large scale production kitchen.
Wow.
So we just submitted our plans to the city for approval because we are having to do a fairly significant upgrade on the electrical and plumbing systems because we're bringing in equipment to do all this stuff.
Big job.
Big job. Yeah, exactly. And not only that, but we are creating a space where we can process stuff that's given to us directly from a farm. Because when stuff comes out of the ground, a lot happens to it before you see it in a grocery store. And you have to be like set up to do that stuff with like specific sinks and washing stations. So we're going to be set up to do that. And so the 260, that's what we're making now because that's as much as we can keep cold at the moment. But once we get into this space, sky's the limit. So my first goal once we're in there is what is the maximum amount of food that we can produce.
Yeah.
The long-term vision for this is that we utilize closed schools, renovate them, turn them into these production kitchens. And once we figure out how to do this here, it's a scalable model that we can, there's 8,000 closed schools in this country right now. And that's a conservative estimate. And they're all, they have infrastructure already that we can retrofit. But my biggest thing is they sit on these big, beautiful parcels of land. And that land just sits there. And so what we want to do is we want to turn these parcels of land into regenerative farms to start growing food. And it won't be enough for what we need for the program per se, but it would be a place where kids can come. I describe it like, for lack of a better term, like Hogwarts for food for kids, where from seed to plate, they can see.
It is magical,
everything.
man.
It is.
Yeah.
And it literally, like, so when kids, they grow something, so that's going to be a thing that we start incorporating into the program where they get a pot, seeds, soil, and they can grow things that they can then put into their food. Wow. But legit, like the kids, when they do that, they're in it. They're invested in it. Even like cooking, like there's certain dishes, I walk a fine line between like recipes they want to make. Like today is a combination like blueberry pancakes. So it's like functional, but also something fun and, a sweet kind of dish that they can make. And then the recipes I want them to make that are, lots of food, nutrient dense. So I kind of walk this line of like, what are they going to want to make? And so sometimes it's very veggie heavy. And I used to be so nervous when I'd be like, oh, we're making these veggies today.
Right.
But legit, like when they're the ones cooking it, they're open to it. They're willing to try it.
Nice. That's a beautiful loophole, right?
It
there,
is.
right?
Totally.
You find a way to get the kids to eat their veggies and they're having fun doing it. They've got the YouTube aspect, which I think is really cool to integrate the two because you have the entertainment portion. Right. And you being who you are, your personality, like, and I just see it. I can see why Mr. Steve is Mr. Steve,
Thank you.
Yeah. And it's cool that you're combining all these different things, man. And I want to showcase ways that people can get involved in Tucson, the ways that they can help. I feel like there's a lot of people out there that want to help. Maybe they have extra time. Maybe they know somebody that does, but where do they get started? How can they help? How can they get involved? So with you guys, if people wanted to get involved, reach out,
how can they reach out to you?
Absolutely. So if you go to our website, it's ttffp.org, or you can do the Tucson Family Food Project.org. There's a section on there called Ways to Help. So of course, cash donations are huge for nonprofits, especially that work with food, because we can stretch those dollars out. Food donations are great. We are not an emergency food bank. So, we're not someplace people come. If they need an emergency meal right now.
Right.
We're fighting this in the long term. So if that's something people are looking to do, there's tons of organizations that are doing that can really use your help. Money is the best way to help them.
100%.
For us, volunteering is huge. So like what you guys were doing today, that's the engine that keeps this thing going. So when I said, like, I made my business plan and I did all that stuff, I couldn't visualize what the volunteer program looked like because I had never done it before.
Yeah.
And so I was super nervous. Like, are people going to show up to this? Like,
Sure.
It's a big ask,
Yeah.
And like, I tell our volunteers, to me, the most valuable thing in the world is time. Money's great, but it comes and goes. Time is, you have a finite amount of time. That was one of the catalysts for me too, is seeing COVID, people passing from COVID. They all thought they had more time and they didn't. And I was like, I don't know how much time I have, but I need to do something that fills my soul. So we're at the capacity now where, in addition to doing our recipe prep, our packaging for the meal kit assembly, we're starting to have like weekend events. So, and also too, there's a lot of people with a lot of different skills. So as like a YouTube channel, like if there's people who have editing skills and, various things, you can contribute. Really anything that you do, if you want to help, you can find a way. But reaching out to organizations is the best way. And I also want to encourage people too, that this is, so my underlying message when I talk to big groups of people is the why of like why we do this.
Yeah.
And of course, we're feeding kids, it's the right thing to do and all of that. But the core underlying why behind this is that it's a fixable problem, that we can make strides to ending this. And so I want to encourage people, the nonprofit world gets stagnant. The for-profit world thrives on innovation because it pushes profits.
Yes.
The nonprofit world kind of stagnates a little bit, and it's in need of innovative ideas on how to do stuff. So that was our attempt at this. And that's why we're trying to make it cool for the community and make it cool for the kids and change the way even fundraising is thought about. Like for example, I appreciate if people don't have time or money to donate. I totally get that. But you can go on our YouTube channel and subscribe and hit the notification bell and leave a like, and we can turn that into dollars down the road.
Yes.
So you can even help in these little tiny ways, seemingly tiny, but that add up.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting as many people involved in the message and realizing that it does take an army, it takes a team. And for one person to be standing at the forefront of this and bringing all these people together and having all these different outlets to make a difference in the community, I mean, my hat's off to you, man.
Thank you.
And we here at People Helping People are trying to do the same thing, right? And
Big time.
I would love for you not only to come on the show so I can dive. I have so many questions.
Yeah,
I have
heck yeah.
questions about meals. I have questions about the YouTube channel, the filming, the this, that. I'd love to dive into the weeds with you and, just really show people. I mean, we showed them firsthand today the experience, which I thought was great.
Thank
and
you.
I commend you for that. But show them the reasons why, the more of the purpose and more of the man behind the machine here.
Yeah,
and
dude, I'm in.
Yeah, so I just really appreciate you for letting us come in and meeting your team. They're all amazing. Like everybody here, just the stories in the background were great, and sitting down and having the conversations and why they're inspired to be a part of this is really why we should be on the board, what we should be doing on the planet. So
Totally. And I want to commend you for your work too, on, spreading goodness. So when I started doing this, like I said, I'm new to the nonprofit world. I see so clearly now that there are so many more good people in the world than there are bad. They're quiet though. The good people are very quiet. They don't yell and scream about stuff. The bad people, you feel inundated with all of this negativity. The reality is a majority of people want to help each other. And I think that there's so much space, not only in social media, but just in our culture for positivity. So I think this is the next big thing is, being positive. And, there's YouTubers who make millions of dollars pranking people with these silly things.
Right.
It's like, dude, it drives me nuts. There's so much space. and we hear that from a lot of the kids. They want to grow up to be YouTubers and be famous and stuff. So we tell them, go do good and film yourself helping people.
Yeah.
There's a huge desire for that stuff right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel as though, thank you for saying that for one, but yeah, I think that there is this shift that's happening in the world, and I hope to just be, my little mark in it, and I feel as though Kayla and I talk about this all the time, about our faith in humanity being restored by the guests that we've had on the show and the community that's here watching the show and the people. Like, I love when my community jumps on and they, oh, how's it going? Like, they're talking to each other and like we're building something
Totally.
that feels meaningful, and just, I just commend you for allowing us to do our first helping hands on site, volunteering, and it just felt so great. So
I'm honored, man. Thank you so
appreciate
much
you,
for
brother.
being here.
Absolutely. And we'll get you scheduled on the show.
Sounds good.
Cool, let's
Sign me
get
up.
it.
Come on, man. Steven is so great. Huge shout out to the Tucson Family Food Project. Huge shout out to Kayla Coffee for coming through and not only volunteering, but grabbing the camera and doing all of that work, because that's never easy. So I just appreciate her so much. And it was interesting because our microphones weren't working at one point while we were there. We're talking to the volunteers. And these two ladies sat down with me and they were telling their story, the inception of meeting Steven and hearing his story. And they're like, we're going to share something that Steven would never say. And essentially what they had told me was that Steven had so much belief in this project and feeding these kids that he has sold his house for the seed money in order to start this. He went and he lived with his family and has been building ever since. And they've been there since the beginning for 3 years, and they don't plan on going anywhere. That is a beautiful thing. Let's see. Yeah, Kayla and I too, we're talking about how, gosh, her working at a restaurant and the amount of abundance that we have in this life. We live like kings. We take everything for granted. I say we as in I take everything for granted, right? There's so many things that we have at our fingertips that is just something to be grateful for. And there's so much abundance. I think of these restaurants like where Kayla works, and if somebody takes back a steak, that goes right into the garbage can. Or the food that is a day past its expiration date goes right into the garbage can. And all these grocery stores, everything goes into the garbage can. And there's these rules and regulations that keep us from allowing our people to help others with those abundant amounts of food and supplies that we do have that's available to us. So again, huge shout out to Steven at the Tucson Family Food Project for making his mark, not only in Tucson, but he's going to be branching out into the rest of the United States. And we are here to support you in any which way that we can here at People Helping People. Let's see. Oh, yeah. All of the Tucson Family Food Project links will be in the description of this video. If you want to get involved, if you'd like to volunteer, if you'd like to donate, all of that stuff is there. And I'm just so grateful that we finally got to spark what Helping Hands was supposed to be about. We finally got to start that. And that's just one of many. I plan to go to a lot of other nonprofits in the area and do the same thing. Volunteer, showcase it, let you guys see what it's all about. And if it's something that calls to you, there's your outlet. So before we let you guys go, do us a favor, hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. It does help us out. Like Steven was saying, I mean, it's those little things that do add up over time, and us getting out to more people in the world is making a bigger impact. So something as small as subscribing to the channel or sharing this if it meant something to you or could mean something to somebody close to you, that means the world. So thank you guys. And if you guys have any idea of other nonprofits here in the Tucson area, let us know. We'd love to volunteer. We'd love to go showcase them just as we did the Tucson Family Food Project today. So, yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in to this impromptu redemption episode of People Helping People. And we will catch y'all on the next one. Deuces.
Yeah. What's everybody fighting for? Why can't people help people? That's the question.